Good evening all, it's 7:22 p.m. and what they tell us is the 24th of the 12th, 2024. Some of you might call that Christmas Eve. I don't. Because I'm a natural man and I speak to you as naturally as I possibly can. I'm not trying to be unnatural with you. Title of this upload is My Present to You, Wannabes. I've seen three things today which I'm going to go on to talk to you about because they speak volumes to me. My name is Bazzzilll. Here I am broadcasting Truth and Therapy, BBTT, on my channel, the Self-Preservation Society, here on Bitchute. If you're not watching on that Bitchute channel, if you're watching on Bitchute 2 or any other platform, then the link to it's below in the description box, along with other worthwhile information that you may wish to peruse. Seen three things today. I've seen a group that was established, a worldwide movement that was established during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic, to expose the lies of the pandemic. And what are they doing? What are they doing today? They're wishing all their members a Merry Christmas. You could not make it up. And people like Max Egan, who I sent a little message in Facebook about, in Skype about this, often says, people are waking up this, that and the other. Are they? Exposing the lies on one hand and living the lie on another? I think not. Wannabes. Wannabes, that's what it is. And you should have a good, long, hard look at yourself. And if you're challenged by what I say, then that speaks volumes to me. The other thing I've seen today, or one of the other things I've seen, Graham Hancock posting a YouTube link where he was a guest on the Piers Morgan show, with a bit of a caveat saying, please listen to it all before you do what some people have done and made a comment, a judgment, this, that, and the other. Well, I'll tell you what I said to Graham Hancock in a comment. People like you, I said, as much as I respect and acknowledge what you bring to us, start to lose credibility for me when you appear on programs or on channels like Piers Morgan and Joe Rogan and people like that, where loads and loads of slaves, feast at their trough and bow to them at their altar. I've said so many times, I think I said it in my last episode, upload, where I spoke about the difference between soul and spirit. And I said it, I was speaking about specifically to a lady in Herne Bay who I have got the greatest respect for. And she listened to it, Jill Goldfinch listened to it and shared it on her page. And we had a little diatribe going where I acknowledged and made clear my respect for her. She is a beacon in the darkness of spiritism. So much integrity, this and everything she does is for other people. No question about that. However, she, like many, and I'll come back to Graham in a minute, but she, like many in spiritualism, I was always naively led to believe, inverted commas, that spirit were there. And I say spirit, those that are not in the physical. We're all spirit here in the physical. When you leave the physical, you know, mostly you just go to the spirit world because you don't know who you are on a soul level. But anyway, but I was always led to believe that spirit are there to empower, enlighten and enable you. And I've said so many times, I've learnt more from incarnated spirits here than I have from disincarnated spirits, those that have passed on. And I'm grateful for that. Really grateful and appreciative. But this so-called spirit world is no better than this third dimensional reality. If they're not speaking as I'm speaking, to expose the lies of Christmas in this case. You find me a spiritualist church, I've just seen one in Norfolk, wishing everybody a happy Christmas. You find me a spiritualist church anywhere that isn't wishing people a Merry Christmas. You find me a medium that isn't wishing people a Merry Christmas. Find me a truther that isn't wishing people a Merry Christmas. The awake are asleep, dreaming they're awake. And it's so sad to see. And, you know, I often think to myself, am I the only one that's awake that can see all this? The hypocrisy, the lies, the deceit. Expose one lie but live another. That doesn't make you special at all. You've got to expose all the lies. Don't just live them because it suits you. Can't get my head round how a group, a worldwide movement called Stand in the Park, set up to wake people up to the lies of COVID and everything else, is wishing people a happy Christmas. And if I sound bitter, then if you're awake, you can understand that. If you're not awake, you'll never understand it. But it's so sad. You know, as I said to Max in that Skype message I sent him, and you say people are waking up. It's so sad. But anyway, I said to Graham Hancock, in response to him posting that with his caveat, people like you lose all credibility with me, or start to lose credibility with me, when you appear on shows like Piers Morgan and Joe Rogan, this, that and the other. How much is Piers Morgan being paid to, you know, to do what he does? How much is Joe Rogan being paid? I said to Graham, you would do yourself so much better service if you appeared on little small channels, much smaller channels. People like me, and I don't want to interview him or anybody else. Not interested. But someone like my lunch break or John Levi on YouTube, if you want to talk about ancient history, then, you know, people like them. But no, you've got to go. People like, and it's not just Graham, there's many other people that do it, of his ilk. They have to go on the big shows and whatever. And those big shows only exist to keep you enslaved, controlled and manipulated. And if you're giving your energy to them, they'll continue to do it. I don't care who you are, what you perceive, believe, and whatever. If you're going on those shows, or if you're listening to those shows, or if you're wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, don't try and kid me that you're awake, unaware to all that goes on in the world, because you patently are not. You're not. And that's my present to you. And I send it with the greatest of intention, the heartfelt intention. It may appear I'm mocking you or deriding you and whatever. And it will appear that way if you're controlled by the false matrix that enslaves us. You'll seek to justify it and you'll attack me for what I'm saying here. I couldn't give a flying fuck. I don't care if you're a spiritualist church, a medium, a psychic, a truther, a campaigner, this, that and the other. If you pick and choose the truths that you want to expose and live a lie like you're doing today, this time of the year when you're celebrating, like buying your presents off Amazon and your food out of high street retailers and this, that and the other, this false narrative about this time of the year. And don't tell me you're awake. Don't tell me you're a man. You're a human being. You're a human being. You're not a man. You're not a woman. You're a human being. Living the lie. Stop living the lie. Daniel Bedingfield. Wake up. Have a fucking word with yourself. We're in the midst of one of the most beautiful periods in the year. Whether you're in the southern hemisphere and the sun has reached its zenith and standing there proud as high as it can for 4 days, or you're in the southern or northern hemisphere and it's reached its lowest point and lies there dead to the world for 4 days until it rises 1 degree tomorrow, the 25th of December. If you really are what you claim to be, then you will allow your light, your own light, to resonate with the light of that sun tomorrow, and you'll start to rise. You'll start to get off your knees and stop feeding at the trough, kneeling at the altar of all that enslaves and controls you. You can't pick and choose the truth. You're either a truther or you're not. There's no in between. You can't justify wishing people Merry Christmas and on the other hand exposing the lies of the pandemic and whatever else there is that you seek to expose. Don't try and kid yourself, because you won't bloody kid me. You won't kid me. Doesn't work like that, people. You're either awake to the lies or you're not. And see, it's all about ego. Ego and the mind. It's all about narcissism and all these other traits that only human beings have. Mankind does not share these traits. It's only human beings that are genetically modified from mankind in order to serve an agenda and a purpose. And they do it well. Whether you're Graham Hancock or people like him, or, seeking to expose it on one hand, and yet, giving energy, frequency and vibration to those that you're trying to expose on the other. It don't work. Doesn't work. It might work in your reality, but the truth is, in the reality of truth, the energy, frequency and vibration of truth, it doesn't work. Really doesn't work. But you individually and us collectively have to come to that awareness yourself. You have to come to that awareness yourself. I've said time and time again, you can't buy your way out of this by buying a book or a DVD or a sweatshirt or a baseball cap or a fucking cup or anything like that. You can't buy your way out of this. You can pay attention. You can pay attention. I don't care. I've said this so many times, and I keep saying it. I don't care who I upset when I speak the way I do on this, my channel. I don't care who I upset. If the cat fits, wear it. I care about those that will be deceived if I don't speak the truth. That's what I care about. And it's interesting. I don't know if there's a correlation to this, but this morning, where I am, it was very, very, very foggy. I'm not here. And perhaps that was a precursor to what I was going to later on today, which I've been vocalising here. Since the solstice of the 21st, I stood, see the sunrise. 22nd, stood and see the sunrise. 23rd, I stood and see the sunrise. There was some cloud, but nevertheless I see the sunrise. Today, it was so foggy, as if everything was blurred. And like I say, perhaps there's a correlation between that and what I've been talking about here so far. Greatest respect for Graham Hancock for what he brings to the table. What I don't respect is taking that to people like Piers Morgan and Joe Rogan, this, that and the other. You will be, for me, have so much more credibility if you went to people like My Lunch Break or John Levi and people like that. But, I may be wrong. But it's no better than, for me, those of you that watch people like that, stations like that, Piers Morgan, and you just well watch the fucking telly, because you're no better off, and don't think you are. You keep giving these people your energy, frequency and vibration, and you say you're awake, and you're feeding them with your views, your thumbs up, this, that, and that, and paying them and all manner of them tides in order that you may hear more truth. No, I think not. That's what you get from me, people. The pure, unadulterated truth. Whether you like it or not, it's entirely down to you and your awareness. See, what I say won't hurt those that know who they are. It will not hurt. The truth won't hurt those who know who they are. Those that are consciously awake, that have transcended that mind, spirit, ego, and all that shit to the true self. So my present to you, this solstice, is the truth. Our ancestors that followed the cycles of nature would know tomorrow morning or within a couple of days that the sun was coming back. And so they would go out and share any excesses they may have with their neighbours. That was their present to their neighbours. If they had more than enough food to keep them going until the growing season was well underway, they went and shared. That's what our ancestors done. Shared any excesses of food and whatever they may have with their neighbours. I share the truth with you. That's my present to you. The truth. So if you're a wannabe a truther, wannabe spiritual, there's certainly you probably won't resonate at all with what I've said to you here. That's probably why my viewing figures across all the platforms I use are so low. I'm not bothered. I'm still going to speak the truth because it's the right thing to do, and I do it for the right reasons. If it falls on deaf ears, then so be it. I'll just move on. I won't be controlled by your narratives. I won't be controlled by the lies. I seek to expose the lies. And when you do that, see through the lies, all you're left with is truth. And it's not a bad thing to be controlled by the truth. If this message resonates, share the message. Give it as a present to somebody else this solstice. Invite them to view my channel, where in my last upload I spoke about the difference between the soul and spirit, and loads of other stuff. But share the message you hear. Don't share me. Plenty of other people want you to do that. Tomorrow morning, here in the Northern Hemisphere, the sun will rise 1 degree. And every day after, it will rise 1 degree. And that light gets stronger and stronger. Nature has all the answers. If you're natural, you will rise. You will allow that light within you to rise and gain strength and momentum. If not, you'll forever walk in darkness. Palamia, thank you. In Lakesh, in you I see another me. Mitakui oyasin, we are all related, we are all relatives. And I tell you, we're all connected.